Hey y'all, hey. Hold on. Let me clean the camera. All right. Hello. It is me, Christian. You're tuned in for War of My Two Cents. Okay, if you're new to the channel, then welcome. Thank you so much for coming over here and for joining me for this impromptu. It's very impromptu. I didn't have it planned. I was literally sitting in my living room and I was like, I think I should go live. I think I should go live. It's been a while since you guys have seen me. And today we hit the 1K subscriber mark, and I am so excited. Hopefully, my sound is up. You guys can hear me. If you don't, you can catch the replay and comment in the comment section replay whenever you get a chance to watch this so I know that someone was able to view it, see it, enjoy it, and yeah, be a part of this momentous occasion because I'm excited about hitting 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to talk about a couple of current topics and give my 2 cents on some things that have been happening. But for the most part, I really wanted to come on and um, just really celebrate hitting the 1,000 subscriber mark. I started this channel in 2021. I believe that was my first video, and I was like nervous. I was really nervous to start the channel and to do a video and put my feelings out there and to share my story of my deconstruction journey. I didn't know it was called deconstruction at the time. I just came into the knowledge of that term last year. But yeah, share my deconstruction journey in really stepping away from organized religion, Christianity, and leaving the church, and finding and building my own relationship with my creator, with God, with source, right? With the universe, whatever you choose to call God. That was my real first like step forward in healing and wholeness and what people in church would consider deliverance. Um I didn't think that I was fully over a lot of things that happened to me in church. And it wasn't until I started this channel, and thanks to this platform and being able to use this channel literally like as almost like a video journal of me like going through the motions and processing the feelings and the thoughts and even like the isolation sometimes that you feel once you leave an organized religion like Christianity or possibly Jehovah's Witness or whatever your religion or your belief system may be. When you remove yourself from it, that comes with a lot of pressure, guilt, sometimes shame, sometimes embarrassment. And you just really second guessing your own ability to make a good decision for yourself. And so I went through all of that. My husband and I went through that entire process for about 4 years, which would get us to 2020, 2021, when I would have this spiritual awakening. And I was like, oh my goodness, there's so much more. Church was really kind of a barrier for me to have my own relationship with God and for me to not just depend on other people's relationship in spirituality, but to have my own and to understand that that power that I have been giving to other people the whole time I was in church was always within me. And this platform gave that freedom and it gave that space for me to share. And I'm super grateful and excited because when I first started this channel, I was sharing it. Like I was sharing it on my personal Instagram. I was putting it out there like I got a new topic, I got a new video out, go check it out. Why I quit church, why I did this, did it or whatever. I was posting it in my stories. And yes, some people that I knew came over to the channel and watched the video, commented underneath a couple of videos in support or, gave their feedback. But then, like, somewhere in there, I was like, I don't want to share this anymore, right? I want this to be my journey that other people who may also be going through their own deconstruction journey can organically and authentically find this channel and be a part of this journey. And we process through this like respectfully. And we process through this in a wholesome way where we're not judging and we're not being rude and nasty and mean and divisive. That's what I wanted for this platform. And I know that there are a lot of other channels. YouTube is a huge platform, right? We're talking about multiple millions, hundreds of millions of people who start channels and probably abandon it right after a couple of videos or they never post a video. And I think to date, let me see how many videos are on the channel. Okay. And hi to whoever the, the viewers are. I can't see you. It doesn't let me see who's viewing, but if you want to say hey in the chat, I'm super excited again about um all of the things like the videos that I have, you know, so graciously. Thanks to you. Okay, so there are 229 videos. I have done 229 videos, y'all. Major accomplishment for me because it really was like a test of my own consistency. It was a test of my own commitment, what I could give to this channel, what I can give to other people, and how I can really stay focused for myself, like to be true to something that I actually appreciate and that I actually care about. And so that's what this channel has really done. It's really helped me. It's actually held me accountable. I've made shifts and changes. This was my first time in the front of the camera in like what 2 months now. Hey, y'all ain't seen my face in 2 months because I decided to go faceless. I think that was like in May sometime. I decided to go faceless and do a channel that allowed me to freely like speak and give my 2 cents without having to be on. Like right now, I got lipstick on. I'm out here, you know, giving a little face for the people real quick and at almost 10 o'clock at night. But when you're on, you just you want to be presentable, and so that's just me. That's just my character and who I am as a person. It's not that I feel like I have to be like all glammed up or anything like that because I got a t-shirt on, right, a tank top. But I do like to make sure that I'm presentable, and I found that sometimes being on emotionally and physically was a lot, but being faceless allowed me to just click that button, record this content. Now I'm able to drop some pictures and videos in there for you guys, and I just like to see the evolution of my journey here on YouTube. You all have been a part of that, and so hitting this 1,000 subscribers is amazing. I've stayed true and consistent. I haven't switched it up, changed it up, became a totally different person just to hit a certain number. It's been organic growth as people find the channel, they subscribe. I don't really push and prod and try to force people like subscribe, do this, turn on your notifications. I could, I just don't want to. That's not me. I feel like everybody should be led to do what feels good and authentic for them. And to be honest with you, I have a life outside of YouTube. And so YouTube isn't a full-time job for me. And I'm not like pressured to make it one. I want this to continue to be an authentic journey in a visual, a verbal, like connecting journal that I'm able to do this and use this platform. So thank y'all for the 1,000. Okay. I think now I can monetize my videos, which I can get. I'm going to apply for the YouTube partner program, which you have to have 1,000 subscribers. You also have to have like 4,000 watch hours, which I think I have like 20,000 watch hours, which I'm super dope, like super like excited about that. And like not have any strikes against your channel or anything like that for content that you've posted. And so I don't have any strikes. I haven't done anything wrong. So far I'm on the good side of the algorithm. But yeah, I'm going to apply for it and see what happens with the YouTube partner program. My content isn't going to change. I will not start talking about or acting a certain way to get views, likes, or algorithm favor. I'm just going to remain consistent, and hopefully you guys will appreciate that and love that. So like the videos, enjoy the content while you're here. And yeah, we gonna go into a couple of topics real quick while I'm on the live with you guys. If you are new to the channel, like I said earlier, welcome. And if you are a returning to center, and let me tell you like my 3 points, right? Because I've even had people in the comment section, if you all are familiar here, but there have been people like who have like told me that my 3 points before my videos make me sound crazy. And I'm like, how does it make me sound crazy? The 3 points that matter most before we start any discussion or dialogue. Number 1, you are not alone. Number 2, you're not crazy. Number 3, God, your creator, so loves you, and I do too. Why do I say that? Because we've all had those instances or situations in life where you felt like you were the only one going through it, or you felt as if though you were crazy and making things up, or like you were over exaggerating things in your mind. but you're not. You weren't. I felt like that when I was deconstructing or when I first left church. I was like, am I making this more than what it is? Am I imagining that this person is treating me like this? Because I didn't have any confirming sources. Like there was no one in my circle that was confirming that my pastor was doing the stuff he was doing. There was no one in my circle that was making me feel like I wasn't alone or feeling isolated in my emotional desire to detach and find more. And then sometimes I did feel like on my journey that God didn't love me. Like I was separated from the love of God because that's what, people at church will tell you, that if you are out of God's will, then you are subjected to whatever attack or abuse that the enemy wants to subject you to because you're no longer under the covering of a leader or a spiritual figure. And so I went through all of that, like once I left church. And then as I started like really getting into it, I was like, I'm not alone. I'm not crazy. And my creator is still good with me. Like, I'm good then. So that's why those are the 3 points that I say at the beginning of every video. Like, I'm not trying to make it sound super deep. It's just like ultimately a relatable point of reference for me to remember and to remind others that find this channel that they're not alone. You're not making these things up, and you have a right to still be connected to whatever that source is, that higher power, and that being that empowers you to make the best decisions for you in your life and your spiritual journey. So that's my spiel about the channel and how it goes. And then my 2 cents is just simply my opinion on a lot of different things: spiritual based, family, relationship, religion, like friendship, business. All of us are multifaceted. We all have more parts to us than just one thing that we like or that we do or who we are. And I think that being able to share our opinion authentically and organically and respectfully matters. So that's what we do over here on the channel. Let's see. So yeah, there's that. But we hit the 1K today, and I'm excited. Okay. I'm big happy. I'm happy. I'm so happy. So let's talk about a couple of things. Okay. So last time I uploaded a video was not this past week, and I don't think last week either. It was the week before that. I done gave y'all a break. I done gave a break because I've had a lot going on in life. And I don't share a whole lot of stuff about my personal life on this channel because I like to keep like my personal life and then this separate. But I am who I am. And I feel like this just really helps with like letting people see the humanity side instead of just my opinion on other people's lives. Let me like let you guys in on my life too. So I am a business owner and an entrepreneur. And recently, if you're a magazine reader, this is just some news to show y'all like what I have going on behind the scenes and why I don't always get to make content because I be busy. I be busy, but I'm grateful for being busy, and I'm gonna try. Oh, okay. Yep, I move my camera up a little bit. I'm gonna try to be like a little bit more present. But when I get my content recorded, y'all, I be good. Like I can get 8 videos recorded on my faceless side so easy for y'all. So that's what I'm working on doing. But I've been really busy. So recently, my company, me as well, we're featured in the July, August Taste of the South magazine. If you're in any southern state, or really in any state, because Taste of the South magazine is a national magazine, so it's everywhere books are sold. If you flip, let me get y'all to the page, honey. If you flip, you're gonna see a girl right there. There I am. Ooh, that's me. My company, I own a pancake and waffle mix company that is named after my mother, Vicky. It's a 40+ year family pancake recipe. And we were honored and listed as a part of their 2023 Taste 50 list. So I'm super excited about that. Great things are happening, and I always have something going on. So aside from this channel, this is what I do for a living. Actually run a company that is an e-commerce based business, as well as we are in retailers, and we're getting ready to branch out into more retailers too nationwide. So yeah, it's just a super dope opportunity. So that, and then there's my product right there in the middle, and then we got to write up. Then we got to write up right here too for Vicky Cakes. So that's what I do, and that's where I've been, a little bit of where I've been. Some other great partnerships that I've had the opportunity to garner and to, really hone in on. My company has a partnership right now with PETA as a PETA business partner, because we are animal free and a cruelty-free product and brand. So I'm really excited about all of those things. And I think, again, it just goes to show that, like, with this platform being something that's an outlet, um, I think that it's also fun and it's rewarding to also have like a different part of life that you can keep separate. And so that's the part that I try to keep separate, because I don't really want people to be like, oh, you crazy, or I don't like that, so I wouldn't support you, and I think you're horrible, blah, blah, blah. Let the two be the two. But I enjoy being with you. So that's what I've been doing, those things business wise. But let's get into some topics. Ryan Wilson has a question. So we're going to get into your question, Ryan. And then I am going to talk about two topics that I have posted about on my community tab. We're going to talk about the pastor who shot his wife and then himself in front of their children at a hotel. We're going to talk about that really briefly, go over that story, and I'm going to give my 2 cents on that. And then we're going to talk about this end times fear mongering that is going on right now, really, really, really heavy across all platforms. And I am really interested in seeing what you guys think about it, but I'm definitely going to give my 2 cents on the whole end times spiel. Well, the end times, like, fear mongering, like, what does that mean? Are we really in the end times, and how should we be processing this stuff? And what I personally feel like it is that's making people push this even more, to make people feel as if though the end is near and we're not going to be here and the rapture is coming. So before I do that, Ryan Wilson asks in the comments, what do you think about a telepathic mind reader attacks? Ryan, I'm going to need a little more detail. What do I think about a telepathic mind reader attacks? Attacks on what? Attacking the actual telepathic person? Attacks on that person? Or attacks from that person? Because if I'm not mistaken, y'all know I like a good definition now. Y'all know if I don't do nothing else, I'm gonna give y'all the definition. Okay. So let's get y'all to telepathy, attacks on the mind from someone. Ooh, this is a good question, Ryan. Okay. So telepathic, let me give you guys the definition of what that is, and then Ryan, I'm gonna give you my 2 cents on what I think of that. So telepathic, supposedly capable of transmitting thoughts to other people and of knowing their thoughts. Telepathic, being able to read other people's minds, essentially knowing their thoughts and transmitting thoughts to other people. So what do I think about that? I do not have any experience with it, specifically from a person who either thought they were telepathic or was practicing that on anyone else. But let me say this. I believe that manipulation, and I believe that the mind control element is very real. I really do. I've never really thought of it on the terms of being telepathic, but I do know from my church experience that there are people in church who literally love to manipulate people's emotions and their minds. Now, whether or not people can project the thoughts onto someone else, or whether or not they can actually read other people's minds, I do not know. I don't know exactly how that skill works. I wouldn't call it prophetic, right? Because prophets see the future, or they can see instances happening, but I don't really know about telepathic experiences. What I will say is, I don't believe that it's not possible. I'm a believer that all of these things are possible. I just am, because there are people who definitely understand certain things, like how to use certain sources and how to actually, get certain results by weakening people emotionally and spiritually. So I know in church, and I still hear to this day, like they let the devil in, like they had an opening somewhere where the enemy could get in and mess with their mind or lead them to whatever. And I often used to just be scared from hearing that. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness, what opening? What could the opening have been? Right. But then when you start realizing that there are people who are aware that they can actually manipulate people's minds with things that they say, and then access points that they're given where they can say things to them to make them rethink things, kind of like gaslighting, making people feel as if though they're at fault for things or things are going a certain way that they're really not going. I know for a fact that happens. I know people do that, and that is an attack on the mind as well. Okay, so you said projecting thoughts to the mind with images and emotions hiding in your thoughts. Mm, that kind of sounds like what do they call that? Hypnosis. Like if someone can get in your mind that way. Now, let's just be honest. I think I've said it on some videos before. When people say things like um, going to certain places, there can be spirits there, or I'll go back to the instance earlier this year, maybe it was the end of last year with Tiffany, with the PH, Tiffany Montgomery, when she was talking about Beyonce's concert being a cult, being like a an entry point or a gateway, right? The concert. I was thinking to myself, well, church is just like that. Praise and worship is just like that. So what you just said, Ryan, for example, saying projecting thoughts to the mind with images and emotions hiding in your thoughts. When you open yourself up, and by that I mean when you give your mind over to whatever emotion or source you believe you're experiencing or feeling. Like if you all have ever been to church and you're in a praise and worship service and they tell you um clear your mind, right? Focus on God. Like see God seated on the throne, right? Picture yourself at heaven's gates, or worshiping the Father. What do you think that is? That's literally putting you under a trance, or I don't want to say a spell, but it's almost as if though it's some kind of uh when they used to wave the watch in front of your face, you're getting sleepy. They're literally taking you to a place. They're taking you from where you are physically somewhere mentally. And the thing about it is people don't often realize that that is subconscious. Like those are layers of subconsciousness that you're allowing other people to access your mind. And when they're speaking over you and praying or worshiping or teaching certain things, you've opened, as people in church will say, your ear gates. You've opened your ear gates to these people's speech. You've opened your ear gates to these people's voice. And so, whatever they're putting in you and downloading into you, maybe it's not the practice of being telepathic, but spiritually, they do have an inroads to you as an individual to have impressions on your mind and to create feelings and emotions that when you hear certain things or there's certain things said or done outside of church or outside of service, they're triggers for you, because it literally is as if though you have been hypnotized and you've been put in a trance, and then once service is over and you're done, you go back to regular life, but there are still things embedded in your mind where it may come back to you and it may evoke an emotion or a response from you, and you may not know where it came from, but you've set up and you've had these same routines and rituals performed over you week after week, Sunday after Sunday, Wednesday after Wednesday, or whatever the case may be. And then you're no count to protect yourself or to prevent other people from infiltrating your thoughts and your emotions. So while I know it from that perspective, I can't speak directly to being telepathic, but I believe it is possible. And I believe that if people continue to give other people access points to them, continue to let people speak over them and profess things over them, and be say things like God is showing me, right? The Holy Spirit led me, the Holy Spirit showed me or told me. I've said this before and I will continue to say it. If my relationship with my creator is not strong enough to where it has to speak to me, it has to speak to you first before it speaks to me, then I'm good, because I don't personally subscribe to God speaks to other people concerning us all the time. You are the you're in first person living your own life. So the likelihood of me telling my husband something about my son versus me going directly to my son to do something. That's like how I look at it with God and us as its children or its creation. Why would I not go to you first? Unless, I mean, for whatever reason, I don't know. But that's just me. I don't like people having that inroad to my life emotionally or spiritually, because people will manipulate that and people will put things into your mind about you, yourself, and your life. And you will become dependent on them as your source to convince you that things are better, or there are certain things you need to do in order to escape certain situations through them, through their approval. And that is a form of getting into your mind and manipulating you. And it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. So thank you for that question though, Ryan. I appreciate that. That was very good. And hopefully I did some justice with answering it, because it's important that we understand that even though we try to be like as solid as we can be, like either without church experience or like connection and relationship, we're still human beings. Like we're still human beings in this experience where people are going to try us, people are going to do things, people are going to notice your freedom, they're going to notice your stance, they're going to notice your separation from certain beliefs and ideologies, and they will try you. They will try you. And there are also some things that if you have old files of, because I've noticed this even for me recently, I was talking to my husband about it the other day. I found it difficult over the last month or so to really balance whether or not I want to have a dependence on God or my creator, or if my dependence is in myself or on myself. And I'm like, I don't want that pressure. I'm okay with relinquishing it, or relinquishing the need to trust in me only. I'm okay with relinquishing that to a higher power. Like that's the part of church, or that's the part of religion or spirituality that I'm okay with keeping. I'm okay with keeping that there is a higher source. Totally fine with that. Does that mean I want to go to church? No. Does that mean that I want to read the Bible every day? No. But does that mean that I understand that I'm not doing this in my own strength, and that I can believe that all of this stuff is here for me? All I have to do is be patient, right? Have a certain mindset and thoughts, and take actions with that faith, and then see the results of what I desire. Because I don't believe there's anything here that we want for ourselves that is good that our creator doesn't want for us too. I think that that's the difficulty in church, which I'll go ahead and get to the point about the end times. I feel like these mentionings of the end, time, the end times is here, and God is, getting ready to return. I am 35, and I have been hearing that for a long time. I thought I was going to die. I thought the rapture was coming back before I was 10. And then Y2K happened. The millennium happened. Do y'all remember where y'all were on December 31st of 1999? Because I was at church. I was at church scared as hell. I was so scared. Not afraid. Is afraid and scared put together. I was so scared because I thought that at midnight, 1999, going into the 2000s, okay? Cash Money taking over for the 99s and the 1000s. I thought I was going to die. I did. I did. I believed, because of our beliefs and because of what we were taught and because of how things were going, and everybody was saying that this was the prophetic word. You even had people in the world, right? The media was saying that there was nothing else to do after 1999. Like the computers were going to shut down, technology was going to cease to exist. There was no moving forward past 1999. I was so afraid, y'all. I was scared as a kid. And most of us were really concerned about whether or not that was the end times and God was coming back. And after that happened, there was no excuse for why God didn't return in 2000 in my church. Now, I don't know what y'all was told at y'all house or at y'all church, but nobody had a reason why the world didn't end in 2000. And then you keep going, and everything that happens in the world, older people or extremely churchy people say things as if though they know that this is the end times. I think what has really been getting me recently that I've been seeing posted online consistently from so many different people in church, specifically, they're taking world um catastrophes or issues, political things that are happening, and making it the forefront or the forerunning ground for the Antichrist or for the rapture. And I have this question. I want y'all to tell me. I want somebody to tell me. I be wanting to comment under some of these people's stuff, but I be like, I don't want to start nothing. I don't want to start none of these people's comment section. I be want to ask people when they make these posts and say things like it's about to get bad, right? Or God is not pleased. God is sick of us. God is sick of America. Condemnation is coming to the United States, right? Or God's wrath is about to fall on America. When I see stuff like this from prophets and evangelists and pastors and preachers, or just even spiritual, individuals, I be sitting with my phone thinking to myself, do you have the answer of how any of this is to be prevented? Because right now, what you're doing is telling us to get ready for that to happen, or that the wrath of God is about to come down on America. Are you exempt? Because, see, in my mind, this is how I think of it. This is how I think of it. When I hear people usually saying or doing things that creates fear in a person, creates doubt in a person, makes a person feel as if though they are helpless and hopeless. I don't like that. That bothers me when people do that. Like when people will talk to you about the dollar crashing, the value of money, or famine getting ready to hit the land, stock up on food. What I need you to understand, there are signs of all of these things happening all the time. All the time. I'm an adult. You all are adults. I have a mind. You have a mind. We can all assess things however we want to. Am I saying that none of this stuff will ever happen? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we've been hearing this repeatedly for decades, for years. Was there a Great Depression? Yes. Do we have a complete collapse of our economy where the housing market completely crashed and people were out of work and all of that happened? But guess what also happened? It bounced back. It fixed itself. The world did not end. There is going to be a natural progression of everything in life, all the time, forever. If all of this was meant to be wiped out and never to return again, I promise you all that would have happened a long ass time ago. Respectfully, I'm not trying to be disrespectful by using, profanity, but I'm just saying, for you all to still be here today, for me to still be here today, for there to still be progress in our world and our nation, things are going to seem as if though they're getting worse before they get better. And it's going to fluctuate like that all the time. Perfection is not the goal as a human. Perfection is not the goal as a human. Perfection is not the goal as a human. This world is full of people with differing opinions, different thoughts, different beliefs, different values, different actions, right? Different backgrounds, which means that we're never going to all be on the same equal playing field. We're not going to wrap arms, link up, and sing kumbaya. That's not going to happen. So to have leaders in the faith or in church or religious organizations saying things that just create more fear, when in all honesty, they should be focusing on the faith element of their belief system, it boggles my mind. Because I'm thinking to myself, what do you telling people this actually do for the people? What does it do for the people you're telling it to and you're making afraid? Do you want them to fast more, pray more, give more? What do you want them to do by you telling them that the world is about to end? What do you want from me? That would be my question as a person in church or a follower of these people on social media or wherever they're saying this stuff. Okay, question me, pick me. What should we be doing then? How should we be preparing? Because if the end is near, if you do see the signs and everything's lining up with the times for us to be just like completely cleared off the face of this planet and the rapture is coming, what exactly are you proposing we do? Dora blinks. Every problem to me should come with a solution from a responsible leader. As a business owner, as a leader, when I notice or identify a problem, guess what I also do? I assess and then I'm able to determine, research, and apply a solution. And I figure that out before I take it to my people. I just do. I do. And that's in business that I do that. And then guess what I do as a parent? And then as a wife, the same thing. If there's a problem, it needs to be assessed with a critical thinking mind. What is the end goal of the problem that has been established? And right now, what we're seeing with the fear mongering of the end times and signs of the times, we're seeing identifying of problems. We're seeing people pinpoint things that are Captain Obvious moments, right? The fish that was all over the sea, well, on the shoreline, that washed up on the shoreline. I don't know if that was in Hawaii or where it was, but a couple of weeks ago, fish just was all over. And I'm like, I've seen this before. I've seen this happen. I've seen this story. I've seen this chapter. And it's like, again, you're going to have people to use that to their advantage, to stir up fear, to stir up that God is tired, God is sick, God will not be mocked. This is happening with the LGBTQ plus community. They just overturned this. They just put this into law. I get it. I get it. You're seeing things that to your belief system don't line up, and you want that to be the wrath of your creator on earthly vessels for letting that stuff happen. But what you all fail to understand and realize is that this is the world. This is the earth. Do what you want to do with it. Like if God was going to wipe this out again, I can think of 4 times before now that it could have happened. I can think of a lot of things that have happened in this world, and I'm just 35, that like, oh, you could have took all of us out when X, Y, and Z happened. Now, when they did that, you should have definitely came back. But that hasn't happened. So there's a lot of things that to me, I'm like, okay, as the church, just strengthen your people's faith. Take care of your community. Take care of your people. Don't invoke more fear into your people, but it works. Because what does that get you to do? Turn to them. Be linked up with them, running to the altar, right? Thrusting and throwing yourself at their feet for guidance, for wisdom, for protection. You literally end up turning your eyes off of God because you're listening to what's coming out of these people's mouths because you're afraid. You want to hear what they have to say next because you believe that what they told you was from God. So now you're waiting for them to tell you what else God said would get you out of this. But in all honesty, the end times is coming, but you don't have to worry because you're going up in the rapture. All right, now back to our regular scheduled program. That's the kind of confidence or the kind of Godfidence, right? That you would expect these leaders to have instead of coming with all of these warnings and these fear shots and these fear posts and these fear messages. Is like, who does this help? If I literally sit my 2 children down every day and repeat to them, if you go outside, you're going to be unalived. If you go outside, you're going to be unalived. As soon as you go outside, it's over for you. If you keep on saying that to a person, that's exactly what they're going to believe. I watched a movie a couple of months ago. I think it was on Lifetime, but it was about a family. It was a true story. It was based on a true story, but it was about a family who were, they were religious. They were extremely religious. And the husband and the wife, they ended up having children. And at first, he was a teacher, a spiritual teacher to people like on the street. That's how she met him. She met him on the street. He was a street minister, right? Well, When that didn't work out for him, he decided just to marry this young girl, start a family, and then turn his own family into a cult. Essentially, that's what he did. At first, his children was going to school. But then he decided he didn't want any outside influences on his children. So he pulled them out of school and they began to homeschool them while he was the only one that got to go outside to go to work. What did they start teaching their children? That everything outside was evil, that everyone outside was evil, and wanted to keep them off, of course, from their Savior. Repetition Repetition. Repetition is all it takes to get people to question their own common sense. But these were children and these were their parents. So as the movie progressed, the mother knew that it wasn't right. She knew that what her husband was doing wasn't right and wasn't true, but she just went with it because she was scared. She was afraid. So now they have 5 children. They have 3 sons, 2 daughters. They start using the kids against each other to watch one another. If you see such and such doing this, tell me, you'll get the phone. You'll be able to get a phone. If you do this, you'll be able to get an apple. If you tell on them, you'll be able to get this. They started using the children against one another to tell on each other for having regular human interests and desires as children. But they made them believe that outside was the enemy. That is what's happening right now, you all. And it's to the detriment of so many people because, again, like I said, if indeed these are the end times, right? According to Christian scripture, because we have to remember that all of these warnings that are being put out there by church people and church ministers, it is based off of their own book and their own beliefs. I would love to, and I would be so interested to talk to someone of another religion, another faith, or another belief system to find out if they think any of the stuff that's going on right now is a sign that their savior is coming back. Or is it just Christians out here blowing this trumpet to inform and make aware all of their people, all of the world? It really makes me think of people in cults. Like, let's think of the most popular one that we know. Right? Let's think of the one with the red cups and the Kool-Aid. He convinced hundreds of people to go to a totally different country. Was it continent? Guyana. He convinced those people to leave their family and their life to go with him to live in an open field that he built with rundown shacks and crops for them to work all day. Jim Jones is who I'm talking about. Jim Jones was able to infiltrate the minds of adults to leave their lives to go follow him because he told them that the end was coming and people were going to try to rip them away from their savior and the truth. And my question would be, we protected, right? We good. Why the whole world ain't coming to Guyana then? Why we just get, we the only chosen ones? Jim. We the only ones that got this message. Nobody else wants to come with us? So it's just amazing. And we just have to be cognizant of that with these messages going out of it being the end times and the fear that comes with that steals your life from you. It's funny because in Christianity and in the Bible, it speaks of the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And I just often think about how the church, at least in my experience, did those 3 things for me. It killed a lot of my joy and a lot of my excitement and my vigor for life when I was there. It was a source of draining. It drained me. I questioned everything about myself, everything about my life and who I am and who I was. It killed so much of Christian in that time and in that season of my life in church. And then still, we talk about stealing. I got a lot of stuff stolen from me at church. It was a stick up every Sunday, right? When I think about the joy and the peace, the happiness, the fun, right? Like the culture that I should have known in church wasn't the culture that I actually was introduced to in church. So you steal that element of youthfulness and happiness that you came in thinking that you were getting that. Like a lot of people sign up for religion and Christianity specifically thinking they're going to get joy unspeakable, promises beyond belief and understanding, right? But then you get in there and it's like, it's the good old beta switch. Psych. That ain't what you get. That's not what you're going to do. You're not going to be in here smiling, laughing, and having a good time. Cut it out. It look like you enjoying your package of salvation too much. Let's get her the struggle set up. It's like that's what it was. So it stole. And let's not talk about destroying. Kill, steal, and destroy. The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And then you end up in a situation spiritually where you have your dreams killed. You have your desires killed. You have your own influence and your own confidence killed. And then you have your vision like stolen. Whatever you saw for yourself, that's consistently beat down and pushed down. That's your flesh. You shouldn't want that. You shouldn't be going after that. You shouldn't be watching that. You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be talking to them. You shouldn't even be looking at that. Everything about you, your identity is stolen. And you have families that are often destroyed, friendships destroyed, opportunities destroyed. Because if you're going after those things more than you are chasing after God, you have ungodly ambition. You're going after things that the enemy is putting in front of you to take away time and affection and attention and admiration to your Savior. Who said that you can't do these things and be honoring your Creator? There is nothing that makes me believe more now that I'm not in church, that I am in my God-given purpose and I'm operating the way that I'm meant to, because of the Creator, like instilling these skills and the wisdom and the focus and the confidence and the vigor to go after it. I know where that comes from. I'm aware. Your gift and your skill, your talent, your focus, your career, your family, your mindset, your life is a gift back to who or what created you. And the sooner we're able to grasp and understand that and stop wanting to please other people who are constantly telling us that's not enough. That's not enough. That's not what God wants for you. That's not what you were meant to do. That's not what you're meant to be. You start second guessing everything about who you are and your identity. And at that point, you start pushing down and suppressing everything that comes up and sprouts in you because you start feeling as if, oh no, God don't want that for me. That's not godly. If I pursue that, I won't be able to be here all the time. If I go there and partner with this person or collaborate on this or go after this promotion, that's going to take me from here. Oh, I got this offer at work, but I'm going to have to work a different shift. That ain't of God. What? But was it meant to set your family up for a different level of living? Was it meant to give you more vacation time or different healthcare benefits or access to different resources or certifications? Yes. But we're consistently out here throwing stuff away. We throwing stuff away for other people because of fear, because of what's put out there. Now ain't the time for y'all to be taking vacations and doing this. I was on the phone earlier with I ain't gonna say with who, child. I doubt she ever see this channel, but I was on the phone earlier with someone I know. I won't say it, but I was on the phone with someone I know, and she's out of town, and she was saying how she watched her church service online, and the pastor said, because they had special services since she's been gone, they had some special services, and she said the pastor said over the stage, I almost said pulpit, over the stage, the pastor said this, and I quote, "Next year, y'all better put these dates for this event on the calendar, because I don't want y'all taking no vacations, going out of town, no family reunions, none of that. Everybody better be here next year. Don't plan no vacations around." What? I did a video last year, I believe it was, on being told not to take vacations at church. This is the stuff I'm talking about. When I make videos, y'all, I don't just be making up topics or giving my opinion on things I haven't experienced or things I think pastors are doing. I speak on stuff I know pastors are doing because it's been done to me. So today, to hear this, how old is she? 61, 62? To hear her say that her pastor said on during service, but she was watching on the streaming, to hear her say while she's on vacation, next year, Y'all better not miss this service. Put it on y'all calendar right now. I don't want to hear nothing about y'all vacation, no family reunions, or none of that. Don't have nothing on this date. What? For a church, for an event that you want to put on? Now I can't have time with my family. Now I can't make any plans for my summer next year because someone at church says so. That's the level of control that usually comes with attendance. It doesn't line up. And so it starts to make you feel as if though you don't have any freedoms, you don't have any rights. And that moves me into my next topic of talking about the pastor. So sad and disturbing. When I saw the story, I could not personally believe what I was reading because I'm thinking to myself, ain't no way this happened. And just blew my mind. So if you guys are not familiar with this story, and I'll filter what I say because I don't, I'm at the 1K mark, right? No, I don't want YouTube to give me no problems for certain things. I know you can't use certain verbiage when you're talking on here because it can just be devastating or triggering for some people. But this story came out of Macomb, Mississippi, because they're from Louisiana, but they were in Mississippi when the incident happened. So this is about a pastor who shot his wife and himself. So looks like he has been released from the hospital. And this story was updated on June 27th. So this is actually a good update, but I'm gonna give y'all the backstory on this. So the Louisiana pastor is currently facing multiple charges after he allegedly shot his wife and then himself in Macomb, Mississippi. 25 years old. He was a 25-year-old pastor. His name is Danny Purnell Jr. Now you guys can go look him up. I posted the a picture of him and his family in the headline in my community on my community tab on my channel. But Danny Purnell Jr., age 25, was released from the hospital this past weekend, and he's been charged with aggravated domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and disturbance of a business. So on Wednesday, June 21st, at the Hampton Inn, he shot his wife, Gabrielle Purnell, twice, and then shot himself in front of their children. He's a pastor. His wife was airlifted to Southwest Mississippi Regional Medical Center in Macomb, Mississippi. And they said that she was shot in the abdomen and in the arm. This is, to me, when I read the story of the occurrence, this is an update, so I'm assuming that she's okay and stabilized, but he has been released after shooting himself as well. Let me tell you the questions and the concerns that I have about this story, because see, it kind of goes in the way of mental health. I did see a lot of people making comments and saying things like, mental health is real. Pastors are really out here struggling. We need to be praying for pastors too. I'm not against any of that. If you go to church, pray for your pastor. If you have a friend that's a pastor or that's in church, pray for them. So use your prayers for whoever and whatever you believe you should. I am not against that. Those are your words, and those are your, that's your connection with your creator. Use it. My problem comes in, and my 2 cents is here. We have a 25-year-old pastor and a 27-year-old wife with children who clearly was not mentally stable enough or emotionally stable enough. And I don't have the background of the history of what happened between he and his wife, and I'm not going to even assume or put things out there. But the questions that I have is, number one, nobody around him, nobody, okay, discerned that Danny was going through something. Where's the accountability? And I ask these questions because for people who are not in church, We get so much heat and so much pressure as if though we need to come back to church in order to eat, like in order to escape attacks like this from the enemy. We need to be in church so this kind of stuff don't happen to us. But these kind of things aren't happening to us. I'm just gonna say what nobody else wants to say. I'm glad him and his wife have survived it. I am so glad. But now I'm asking a question removed from the situation. Where exactly does the discernment, where does the accountability, where does the overseeing, where does the leadership and the covering come in to where Danny has someone connected to him that was able to see that he had a problem? Hello? Nobody? Nobody was able to see that? No, God didn't show y'all that at church with Danny? God didn't release that in the spirit during service? Nobody saw that. Gotcha. Not a problem. So this is when the questions come up for me that he and other pastors who may be battling their own issues are free and clear to tell you what thus saith the Lord concerning your life. What about your own? What's going on with you at home? But there's nobody in church that can ask that. That's why I was villainized at my church in Mississippi before we left, because I was out here holding my pastor accountable. When I saw him doing things and saying things that were wrong and inappropriate, I was the one questioning him, like, why would you do that? Why would you say that? You're the one that said X, Y, and Z. Why would you do that? I was asking as a member, directly asking my pastor, why did you do that? That was wrong. No, I don't think that's how this should go. And then I got labeled as a problem because I don't respect titles. I don't care if you're a pastor or a bishop or a evangelist or a prophetess. You are a person. And if I can see that you have character flaws and issues just like I do, somebody needs to say something. We shouldn't all suffer for the sake of Christ because you're jacked up. So the question seriously becomes, what exactly are you all trying to win souls for? Because this is a clown circus. And it's hurtful because nobody was able to save his wife and his children from clearly his instability. But then people at church will be able to look directly in your face since you don't attend and tell you that you're out of the will of God. You're doing wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. You need to find you a church home. You're disconnected. God is not pleased. You need a covering. Now I need a covering. He was somebody's covering and did this to his wife in front of his children. After he made a post about loving his family. Y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all to find somebody else to play with. I'm just trying to tell y'all, find somebody else to play with, because he was saying all of the right things before this happened. So he's a senior pastor. He's the senior pastor of Bright Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church in Pineville, Louisiana. And he shot her in front of their 3 children. Court records say Purnell's wife, Gabrielle Purnell, 27, who remains hospitalized in stable condition, filed a petition for protection from abuse against Purnell in Rapides Parish in 2016. So we're now in 2023, and he has shot her. But in 2016, she filed a petition of protection from abuse against him. But he still became a pastor of a church. Because what? Accountability? That doesn't exist. Okay. She noted in the petition that she filed in court in 2016 against Danny, she said, I've been constantly getting beaten by my husband, and I fear for the life of myself and my unborn child. Gabrielle Purnell also alleged in her petition for protection that her husband often pointed firearms and threatened to unalive her. Purnell, who became the pastor of Bright Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church in January 2022, just 6 years after his wife put a protection order or a petition in for a protection order against him, he becomes the pastor of a church. Now, I don't know if you all agree with me here. He's 25 now. So 6 years ago, he was 19. He was 19 when he did this stuff to her. 24 when he became the senior pastor of Bright Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church. Nobody did any kind of character background, any kind of references, any kind of vetting, counseling, background check to see if he had any records or priors. None of that, because he was called. And again, I'm starting to believe that these people's phones are on do not disturb, but they still pick them up and act like they're talking to somebody. You were not called. You weren't. But we gonna roll with it because you got a church. Okay. So he was serving as a deputy. He was a deputy. Didn't know this information. Very interesting. With the Rapides Parish Sheriff's Office until he resigned last December. He is now facing charges of aggravated domestic violence and disturbance of a business from the shooting that I talked to you about. Investigators say Purnell shot his wife twice at the Hampton Inn and Suites, Macomb in Mississippi, and then shot himself. Now, it is important that we note that had he been charged the first time his wife, or I don't know, she was his girlfriend at the time, just pregnant with their child, the first time she told on him and filed this petition for protection and said he'd waved a gun in her face and threatened to unalive her in 2016, would we be here today in 2023, Pastor? No. This is what these are all of the signs that people in church are able to completely ignore about their own, but then they be all up in your home. People will completely ignore Danny's behavior prior to becoming a pastor, but then when they hear that you don't go to church, you're immediately going to hell because you ain't been to church in a long time. I don't see how you want to be disconnected from God. I don't understand why you're not in church. What do you mean? The people that are in church are going to jail. The people who are in church are shooting their spouses. The people who are in church are literally acting like depraved individuals. Why exactly am I supposed to be beating down and banging on the door to get in? This is not the club that I want to be at. Not sorry. Just not sorry. So that story really threw me for a loop. Hey, Tara Links, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm excited. I am so excited for the 1K. Okay. Y'all know the giveaway is coming. The giveaway is coming. I got to go to sleep first, wake up, make my post tomorrow about what the giveaway going to be. And try to guess how y'all can enter. I'm one of the kind of people that are just mess around and give something to everybody because I'm like, I like winners. I like everybody to win. But thank you so much, Tara Links. You've been here for a minute. You've been in the subscriber count for a minute. I appreciate you so much. But stories like this just make me really hope and I be wishing like, oh, I hope people in church are watching and getting these signs that we're seeing. It's crazy because it's like watching a train wreck far back. Like when I see some of these church stories that come up, I'm like, do y'all see what's happening in y'all own churches? Not chicken, not church's chicken. Do y'all see what's happening in y'all own church? This kind of stuff is happening. These kind of people are going under the radar spiritually and religiously, and y'all are able to prophesy and see all this other stuff happening. You're fear-mongering about the end of the world coming. What is God finna do with the church? What is God finna do with the house of the Lord? That's what I want to start hearing. I know that people at church love to give prophecies about what God is going to do to America, what God is going to do to the world. But again, my question comes back to why would God be so upset with the world doing what the world is supposed to do? Wouldn't it have been easier to create people who only served you and chose your religion? That's not how this works. That's why there are hundreds of religions. because it's not just one that is clearly the only answer. But Christians are the most bold, hands down. Definitely the boldest of them all. So it just blows my mind because it's like, dang, if judgment is going to start, y'all say this at church, judgment is going to start in the house of the Lord first. Danny here decided to start his judgment early and try to take his wife out in front of their children. Horrible. Horrible decision. So for me, I like to twist it. I like to see it from a different lens when I read these posts about what God is about to do and how God is about to start making idols drop dead in the pulpit, or how things are about to start shifting and changing, and we're going to see it and we're going to know that it's God's hand. I'm thinking to myself, why won't that start first at y'all churches though? Because you all are the one that believe in God. Like, why would God come bother people that's not concerned about God's or y'all God's way of actually extracting punishment? What I do to my children in my house doesn't scare or bother other people's kids because I'm not their parent. My children not being able to have their device or get any ice cream or a popsicle or a cookie if they don't clean up, that doesn't bother my neighbor's children. Why? Why? Because I'm not the overseer or the covering for their family. What they do over there doesn't bother what we're doing over here, and vice versa. And so I would start to think to myself, is it possible that what y'all are seeing in y'all meditation and in y'all prayers isn't finna happen to y'all at y'all churches? Could it be what God is about to start doing to y'all at y'all church, at y'all churches and at y'all conferences and events? Because y'all are not listening to your own words. You all are not following your own scriptures. So how about the wrath that you think is about to be released on the world for doing what the world has been doing? The world is worlding. Like, as the world turns, the world is worlding. It has been worlding. It is going to continue to world, and it is going to world without end. Amen. That's what it's going to do. That is the natural progression of life. Is going to happen. If we believe that the apocalypse is coming, the rapture, whatever you want to call it, based off of what religion you're a part of, everybody has a beginning point in their story, in their book, and they have an event that happens that wraps all of this up. And I have to ask you, just like with Jim Jones had a belief too for his people, that it was going to start a certain way and end a certain way. And guess who actually caused the rapture to happen for that group of people? Jim Jones. I'm just saying, critical thinking here just leads me to believe you all are not assessing the truth of the matter. Just like with the guy from Scientology. What was his name? Oh my goodness, it's so many of them. It's hard to keep up with what these people's names are. Scientology, and if y'all get it before I do, type his name in here. Scientology creator, L. Ron Hubbard. When L. Ron Hubbard passed away, when L. Ron Hubbard died, the people of Scientology believed that he was still here, right? But he was then operating through the new person, which is actually over it now. What is his name? David Miscavige. David Miscavige. So now David Miscavige is following and living out, or L. Ron Hubbard is living through David Miscavige in his plan for Scientology. But the thing that gets me is that L. Ron Hubbard said that he was going to live forever, that he was the savior, that he was essentially God. But nobody in that religion finds it weird that he actually died and succumbed to a regular natural health occurrence. It wasn't a rapture that took L. Ron Hubbard away. It wasn't because God needed another soldier in the army of the Lord, wherever Scientologists go. If it's not heaven, I don't know where it is. Maybe it's a nice Delta Sky Lounge. But I'm just saying, this stuff just needs to start adding up. The math needs to start computing. Does it mean that the wrath and the end times is coming for you and your religion? Or does it mean that it's coming for the whole world that's not subscribed to your belief system? Because in that case, you're not saved either. It sounds like you're going out too. It sounds like you're going to the shed, back to the barn house for a little pop pop. That's all I'm saying, y'all. So I would not subscribe to the fear mongering that's happening. Do I think that we should all be mindful right now of things that are going on in the world? Yes. Do I think that we should pay attention to things that are happening that could make life a lot more difficult? Yes. I do believe that. I also understand and I know that we have parents, we have grandparents, we have great grandparents that are still living, a lot of us, and they've lived through some really hard times, y'all. They have. And even in their time, they thought that the end times was here. And even in their parents' time, they thought the end times was here. And before any of us got here, if we believe anything that's in scripture or history books, they probably thought the end times was coming or already here. And we have to be okay with natural progression in life. The world is going to world. Things are going to get worse, and then they're going to shift and get a little bit better for different people based off of where they are in life and where they are, unfortunately, right? Classism exists, but life is going to shift for people all the time, everywhere, depending on where you are on that pole and that ladder. So some things may not affect some people, and some things may make things worse for some people. Some things may get better for some people. Some things may just stay the same for some people. Fish coming out the water and dying on the side of the shoreline. That's horrible for the people that live there, probably, but it didn't affect us. The fires. Oh my goodness, let's talk about the fires that happened in Canada, but affected New York. That was used. Hey, Nashawn, thank you for joining the live. Hey. I know this is some of you all's first time ever coming on live, and I appreciate you guys so much. It's 10:52 here in Texas. I live in the Dallas, Texas area, and so it's almost 11 o'clock here. I don't know what time zone y'all are in, but I appreciate you guys. So the fire that happened in Canada, people in church had a field day with this one. If you guys have any questions or anything you want my 2 cents on, drop it in the comment section and let me know, and I will respond with my 2 cents. Okay, I'm about to read to y'all what someone said. Oh my goodness, the fires. That fire in Canada sent a lot of people in church up. Like, it made people feel as if though they were seeing a sign that God was really like getting ready to put the hammer down, right? Okay. So from your favorite girl, Tiffany with the PH, Tiffany Montgomery, she says, and I saw people sharing it, so that's how I came to know of it. But then I went straight to her page. So I'm like, let me make sure she wrote this, so I ain't saying nothing and paraphrasing words. I like to go straight to the source. So this is directly from her Facebook page. This is a picture of New York, and then this is a billboard. I don't know if this is in Times Square or not, but it's a billboard that says Diablo, welcome to hell, New York 6623. Okay. So she posted this and she said, there are no coincidences. New York is in trouble with God. I've written posts over the years urging New Yorkers to repent on behalf of the blood that's on that state's hands, but God is not happy. The nice, loving God everyone speaks of is not pleased. It's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of the living God. This is what we got out of it. This is what we got out of it. Now, Nashawn, I can't stand you sometimes. Listen, we live, okay? We live and we got real face today. So y'all finna get all of it. Y'all gonna get all of me today, okay? Because we hit the 1K. My thing about the fire in Canada that affected the air in New York, I don't have a spiritual connection for that. I don't. That's just me. Living on this earth, and people may get different meanings out of it based off of where they are on their spiritual journey or just their existence in general. I usually take certain things at face value if there's not another underlying issue or meaning that I just feel like internal, like, oh, dang, this is this from this. What I start finding very like What's annoying to me is when people use these instances and situations to turn into to a way to kind of like condemn and say like, uh-huh, told you so. Like, God's sick of y'all. God gonna show y'all. Like, her saying that New York is in trouble with God. Is Canada in trouble with God? Because that's where the fires happen. So why did Canada get lit up? Let's just be fair. Why does it always have to turn into a way that it validates what you said about something years ago on a post? Why does what you said have to become validated by a natural or a environmental occurrence? What did Canada do? Nothing. Canada didn't do nothing, but now that the fire is affecting New York's air, that one day or 2 days or however long it lasted, now all of a sudden New York is in trouble with God. And you wrote a post over the years urging New Yorkers to repent on behalf of the blood that's on that state's hands. All of New Yorkers were supposed to repent, or just the Christian New Yorkers? Because you do know that that would mean that everybody in New York would have to be following you to see your posts and then have joint consciousness to start believing in your God and repent on behalf of what state legislation has allowed to happen in that area. Not the people who live there. Like, everybody that lives in New York ain't did nothing to God or hasn't done anything against certain belief system that you carry. But somehow you lump everybody into deserving whatever happens next in New York. That, to me, you guys, to me, my 2 cents, that's a form of witchcraft. Like, that's a form of her feeling as if though what I said is now happening to New York because New York made God angry. This is y'all punishment. This is coming back on y'all. What happened? What about the state of New York was actually punished or condemned to the point that you felt validated to say that the nice, loving God that everyone speaks of is not pleased? You take pleasure in having a mean God. That's what concerns me and my homegirls. Like, when I read posts like this, I'm like, dang, y'all are really okay with making y'all creator look bad. Y'all are okay with making your creator look bad. Oh, but there's more here. There's more. Just wait for it. Nishan said, I'm just getting tired of Christians, for real, for real. I ain't gonna lie. Me too. And my name Christian. And I'm tired of them. Not me. I ain't tired of me. My name is just what my mama named me when she named me. Them, the choice of the religion, they really push it. They push it to the limits. And they do witchcraft. They do. And I'm about to tell y'all, I'm about to share something else too. Because when I got on her page, because I saw this post shared, I just started scrolling, and I was scrolling through, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's still doing it. No, why? Take her phone. She still has a lot to say. But this next post that I'm going to read from Tiffany with the PH is what sent me. Okay. It really did send me. So she actually gave out a way for people to get certain results by using a ticker. And again, I don't personally have a problem with you using the practice that she's telling people to use. But guess what? She's out here giving out tips and ways for you to manifest. And y'all say that manifesting is demonic or it's a problem and we shouldn't be doing it. We don't have any power or any of this stuff. But she literally gave step by step. I'm scrolling through her page. I highly doubt she removed it. She gave step by step ways for you to actually, I don't want to say cast spells because it ain't really casting a spell, but I'm going to read it verbatim because I think that it is importante. Y'all know that's my favorite word, importante, for us to actually get how this works. I hope she didn't remove it. She was telling people that there is a clicker that you can get online And you can actually like set a timer to repeat yourself throughout the day to kind of like set yourself in alignment with certain things happening, to get certain things out of your mind, um, or certain ways to get over things or to forgive people. And I was just thinking to myself, we can do that. That's okay to do, Tiffany. Because I mean, I've seen so many of her posts with her being against so many things that seems to be demonic or problematic. I mean, cue Beyonce, right? And I just couldn't personally believe that she was telling people to buy a clicker and put it underneath their pillow or beside their bed. So when they wake up, click it 4 times and say this, right? Or no, it wasn't 4 times. She actually had it on there to say a certain phrase 100 times and click it every time you say it. Click it every time you say it. And I'm just like, what? The comment section was full of women. I just got my clicker on Amazon. Where's the link? Where can I get it from? I just bought 2 clickers. I'm gonna put one in my car and one under my pillow. And I'm like, this is the power of influence that you all have to control the minds of your followers, to me, in my opinion, negatively, because you'll demonize other people who get to do it from an artistic or a celebrity standpoint that's not in church bothering you. You'll condemn them for using their influence to sell tickets, t-shirts, right? Books. You'll condemn them for doing their job and making money, but then you turn around and do it too. Okay. It's not weird when someone else is doing it, but it's weird. Well, yeah, it's weird when somebody else is doing it, but it's not weird when you are. Okay. And I think for a fact, the only reason why these things get a pass and it's okay is because you have a following and people like you. They like you. So they don't really trip. They don't really question much about what you're doing. They don't really question the following that you have and the people who do whatever you say and hang on to your every word because it's working for you. You're a multimillionaire. You're a multimillionaire and you make money from your books and from your conferences and whatever else you do. I do not have a problem with it. I think my problem comes in when you start telling people to practice and do things that if someone else was telling them to practice and do it, it would be demonic. And I can't find it. So I'm assuming that she did. Wait, no, she didn't remove it. Oh, thank you. Okay. She didn't remove it. Okay. Um, let's see. She did not remove it. Congratulations on 1,000 subscribers. The best is yet to come. Thank you, Natty's own. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much for being here and for being a part of the channel. I really do. Okay. So it looks like she removed the full breakdown of it, but she still has a picture of the little ticker. So here's the little clicker that she was telling people to go buy. In practice, clicking it while making statements and confessions and affirmations of like releasing certain people from certain things, curbing like pretty much a fast, like where you fast from like sun up to sundown the next day. It was a brutal practice that she was telling people to actually engage in. I'm like, dang, like you can't eat nothing from 6 a.m. to, 6 p.m. the following day? What is we doing? I don't like that. I don't like that plan. I like to eat. I like my food. You're just gonna be mad at me. But yeah. And she said in this post, if you've been eating in your dreams, I'll tell you how to break the evil covenant. So I guess the thing about it is with her being a prophet and her being able to see things and share them, she was warning people that if they've been eating in their dreams, this is a practice they need to do in order to break that, because it's a covenant that they have with the spirit, with an evil spirit that's causing them to eat while they're sleeping, like in their dreams. If you're eating, this is what this means. It's above me. It's above me. I don't know what she's talking about. Um, and I'm almost at the point where I believe, and I don't know if Tara Links is still on here, and I know that you used to, I don't, well, you are a white witch or a Wiccan. I don't know what the black witch requirements are or what the practices are, but I'm going to tell y'all straight up. I believe some of these ministers, some of these pastors actually practice witchcraft and dark magic. I do. I do. And I believe when they're able to get people on corporate prayers and on these calls and to, make vows to follow them and do certain things that they tell them to do, I believe that it ends up giving them more power, more influence, and more access to influence and manipulate people mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. That's just me. And I don't know if some of them know they're doing it on purpose or if they just think that the impact they have with their words is authentic. I don't know if people believe that it's authentic. I don't know if Tiffany believes she's an authentic prophet. I don't know. I believe she does believe that. But there's something else sinister. There's something more sinister, like to the ministry of it all. It feels like there's an underlining desire for more power. It's almost like an insatiable desire where it's like, dang, you ain't got enough. You need more. You just gonna keep saying stuff and putting people down and putting things out there that scare people and make them fearful, and they're not really walking in faith or love at all. But you get to take vacations after you say all this stuff and make people scared, and then you go off into paradise and take pictures of palm trees and water, right? Everybody's not living in that reality. It's like you've dumped all of this stuff on people and then you get to escape it, right? You get to walk away from it like it didn't happen, or like it's not somebody else's responsibility now to figure out how to get out the muddy water. You've muddied the water with your words and with the heaviness that you bring with it. And then you make that seem as if though you're freeing people with truth, but you're binding them in fear. They don't want to go somewhere and have a good time. They feel like they need to fall flat on their face and pray all day because of what you said. But you're now floating on the ocean. You're now in the seven seas in this bitch. Like, you're out and about doing the things that you want to do after you just got done shutting down everything that they felt they were interested in and wanted to do in life. You're now able to go live your life fully, unplug, disconnect, restore, regenerate your system to come back and do it again. Put more people into bondage, capture more people in your nets, confuse more minds, hurt more hearts. You're able to do that consistently. And then we wonder why people don't feel free enough to flourish the way that these people in church do. Pastors are not rich and wealthy because of tithes and offering. I'm going to say this again. Pastors are not rich and wealthy because of tithes and offering. Pastors are rich and wealthy because of the mindsets of those who pay tithes and offering. Because people have been convinced that the more they give, the closer they get to the person in heaven. When in all actuality and honesty, it just continues to allow the lifestyle of the person they're giving to soar and grow over their own. So you think you're putting in tokens to be able to play a game or to get certain points and tickets, but then you realize, oh, that person ain't been giving my tokens to the other people. It's like you want to buy a lottery ticket, but instead of the cashier actually giving you your lottery ticket, they just pocket your money. You're like, well, my ticket, I need the ticket to possibly win. You gave it to me. You were supposed to go over there and get it yourself. That's what it's feeling like now. It's starting to feel like all of these people who are telling you what to do to get closer to God and to prove your salvation and your commitment and your loyalty, they're telling you all the things that you should be doing. But guess what? You're only doing it for them. God don't even care. It ain't even that big a deal. It ain't even that big a deal to your creator, but it is to them. So her life continues to grow and thrive and do well. I'm sure for a lot of reasons, but the top being she's been able to build a foundation and a following from her. I don't want to call it, ridicule, but she's able to pretty much create a spiritual bully image of God and then put that off on people, women to be exact, and play on their emotions and their desire to be closer, to God and to people like her. And it ends up working. And I knew what I needed to know when I saw this clicker and all these people who were going out there buying it and saying that they were going to use it every day in order to overcome certain things or break certain things off of their lives. And I'm like, I don't understand it. I don't, this is giving very much influencer energy. Like that's something that an influencer does online when they post a product or they post a service for another business in order to increase their business, but they got an affiliate link. I'm not saying she's an affiliate with the clicker that she had people going to buy on Amazon, but my point is she understands her power and her impact. So if I share that this is what people need to do to get over certain boyfriends or certain exes or to get over certain painful experiences, click this thing 100 times while repeating this phrase every day, you know that you're getting in people's mental. You know that people trust you. They're not questioning what you're telling them to practice. Do you know what comes next after stuff like that? When people start listening to you on that level and doing what you tell them to do and buy what you tell them to buy and practice things and repeat things the way that you tell them to get certain results, you yourself have ingrained your principles and your imprint on them emotionally and spiritually to where they'll do anything you want them to do. Anything, anything. It's a dangerous game. It's a dangerous game, but she's good at it though. I ain't gonna even lie to you. She's definitely good at it and it works for her. So I'm not going, I mean, I ain't gonna say too much about it because I honestly don't know if people are aware of what influence is and how powerful it can be in church and how your life, like your past experiences, kind of predispose you to letting people have this kind of control over you. If you haven't been one that speaks up for yourself, or you are one who are a people pleaser, or you feel as if though if you don't go along to get along, people will judge you or not like you. These people are usually the easiest targets to pull in this way. And she's been able to get that. But I totally didn't understand the whole New York correlation to God not being pleased with the state and the people needing to pray in order to not be under the wrath of God. And I'm just thinking to myself, if this is what you believe your vision showed you that was going to happen to New York from Canada, what did Canada do for the fire to happen to them first? And there's usually no answer. No answer. And it's crazy because I'm pretty sure you got followers. She has followers who live in New York. You want them to be subjected to the punishment in the air, and whatever's going on over there too. They're not protected. You don't have a special mask that you know that God showed you for them to go get and to stock up on. The messages don't be coming through clear. It's like they hear the warning, but they don't actually hear the way to get away from the warning or the way to like not be affected by what comes next. And that's why I'm like, y'all bootleg prophets. Y'all bootleg. If I was a prophet, I'm not. But if I was, I would like to think that I would be the kind of prophet that would see the problem and then come with the solution. Be like, look, thus said the Lord. He showed me that what's going to happen next. Boom, 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 ka, 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 la, 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 la. Go get you this little shelter, like put it in your backyard, get in it. Like in the Bible, they told them to like get the blood of the lamb, get a blood of the lamb. You know what I'm saying? Put on your doorpost, and when the little spirit come through, it ain't gonna grab you and your people. That's what they said in the Bible. Don't none of these budget prophets got these kind of instructions. They don't be having nothing to tell y'all. They just tell y'all what they saw gonna happen, but they don't know how to tell you how to avoid it. And that's what be concerning me. I'm like, dang, y'all some Dollar General prophets, ain't you? Y'all not even Macy's prophets. Y'all not even Dillard's. Y'all aren't even Neiman Marcus prophets. Neiman Marcus prophets. Come on. Come on, Gucci Lord. I would rather you have real solutions to help people than to keep making them fearful and afraid to actually exist. And I don't think that that's fair. That's just me. Bolo TV, The Village said blessings to the chat. I don't know. I'm so sorry, y'all. And congratulations on your 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. Okay, so I'm excited and I'm doing a giveaway. I just want to put that out there. I just want to say that to the people. I gotta tell y'all that the giveaway is coming. Okay, so get ready for the giveaway. Any other topics that you guys would like me to talk about before I get off of here? I do have some good videos coming up. Some reaction videos, they will be faceless. I decided to show my face because I'm like, we hit the 1K, so I gotta give people my face today. Okay. Gotta show face for the people because I appreciate you guys so very much. It's fun. YouTube is fun. I enjoy it. Um, Oh, YouTube is fun. I enjoy it. I really do look forward to giving more of my 2 cents on a lot of different things. We're actually getting ready to close out, and I say we as a world, right? Pride Month. This is the last day of Pride Month, and I've been seeing a lot of sermons of pastors who have been talking reckless about the LGBTQ plus community in church. And I go back and forth sometimes on whether or not I want to talk about those pastors because I don't even know. I think at this point, it's just like a lack of awareness for what, in my opinion, church is meant to be. I think that it has become so fire, hell, and brimstone that people like literally are, they have removed the element of love, which is what God is supposed to be. They've removed that to where it's just easier to jump on the bandwagon of separation and isolation in church. And so when I have looked at, I think there are 3 videos specifically that I've seen this week alone of pastors choosing to use their platform and their voice and a microphone to condemn and say things that are very crass. I mean, very crass, nasty things, very nasty things. And I'm like, why did you have to say that? There's no need, in my honest opinion, I don't think there's any need to discuss what your idea of homosexuality is at church in the pulpit. That's just me. I don't think that's necessary. I feel like every adult understands what relations look like amongst people who have certain genders and identities and lifestyles. There's no need, in my opinion, for anyone in church holding a microphone to ever explain, describe, or like put it out there to get people to laugh or amen or clap them up. I do not think that that is necessary to do at church. That's what I will say. And I've seen posts where people say things like, "We want the rainbow back." Um, Let me see. I'm gonna go to this one post that I read the other day, which really did, it concerned me. Did she remove it? Let's see. Because people have been removing their posts lately, you guys. I don't know if it's because people are eating them up, but people have been removing their posts about about Pride Month. They put their posts up and then they take them down because I think it gets too hot in the kitchen. Yep, looked like she removed hers. I was gonna reach all the good posts that got really um really controversial in the comment section. I gotta start screenshotting this stuff. I'm sorry. I'm slipping because I usually screenshot what some people say, but I think at this point it's like, I don't know if I'm gonna screenshot ignorance and have it stored in my phone until I go live again. I sure do hate that because I was ready to go in on that post and reach all the comments from it. But this woman was actually condemning the LGBTQ plus lifestyle, and she's a churchgoer. And it, to me, just in my opinion, I was like, this has no place. Like, why do you feel the need to say this stuff? Is anyone bothering you or telling you what they want, whether they want the rainbow back or whatever? No, nobody's bothering you. But it is definitely it's an intolerance. It's a lot of intolerance in church. And I think that people are starting to notice it and people are done. People are done with church. People are tired. And so we can get into that more, but I'm gonna let y'all go because it's 11:18. My kids are not asleep, which I am concerned because that means that their dad is asleep. My husband has gone to sleep downstairs and he's not watching his kids. That's what he's supposed to do. They're supposed to be asleep. You hear, Claire? That's my daughter. She's supposed to be asleep, but she's not because her daddy's asleep. You can't watch your kids if your kids watching you. Our kids tuck us in around here. Be like, what time your kids go to bed? They tuck me in at 8:30. I don't know what time they go to sleep. I'm just playing. They got bedtimes. But I'm gonna hop over here. Thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for being subscribers. Thank you for being 2 centers. We got so much more to go, so much more to do, so much more to talk about. Enjoy your night, Tuna Sean. Thank you so much for joining. If you guys have any questions or any requests, like videos that y'all want to see me do, or you all want my feedback or my 2 cents on topics or any of your stories you would like me to share here anonymously or on this platform, email me at my2centmatters@gmail.com. I'm currently getting caught up on emails. I don't have a whole lot of them, but I got a whole lot of other email addresses that I got to keep up with throughout the week. So I try to check the My Two Cents email once every other week. So if I don't get back to you or if I don't respond, like they say in church, charge it to my head, not my heart. I want to, and I'm going to. Actually, probably later on tonight. But thank y'all so much for watching. Y'all take care. Again, thank y'all for helping me to get to 1K. Let's get into this giveaway. Have a good night and happy 4th of July. Be safe and enjoy yourselves. Bye. In.